Welcome to the Weekly Leader with your host, David Guerra.
All right, hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Weekly Leader. I'm your host, David Guerra, and you know the premise. One notable event from the past week, I break it down, add my leadership spin to it. Next, I take one leadership concept, break it down, and also add my leadership spin to it. Alrighty, so with that out of the way, let's get this started. Alrighty, so this week in the news, the World Series has started, the long game, and the need to remain focused right here, right now. Last night, and as I'm recording this, it's Saturday, so last night the first game of the 2022 Major League Baseball World Series was played. And by the time this video gets posted, Game 2 should be well underway. Now, the participants in the World Series are the Philadelphia Phillies, representing the National League, and the Houston Astros, representing the American League. And both teams played a long, grueling season that began 1 week late this past April. Now, they're in the final series to determine who is the best of the best for the year that is 2022. Now, for the uninitiated, the World Series is played across 7 games. However, the first team to win 4 of those 7 games is declared the winner of the World Series, and they become the World Series champs. Now, in Game 1 of the World Series, the Phillies came back from a 5-run deficit to beat the Astros 6-5 in the 10th inning. Yeah, that was exciting. Now, before Game 1, the Houston Astros, they were and still remain the favorite to win the series. This is especially so considering they swept the Division Series and the League Championship Series. And that's what got them here. So they won all the games. They lost no games in any of those series to get there. And rightfully so. I mean, this is by far the best team in baseball. Now, of course, others might say, oh, it's the New York Yankees or the Dodgers or the Red Sox. But where are they tonight? What are they doing today? Sure, they might have the big names and the big salaries, but they don't have what it takes to get to the World Series. Not this year. We'll see next year, but not this year. See, only the Astros and the Phillies kept their eye on the prize. They remained focused long enough to get the job done. See, they played all 162 games of the regular season, then added to that the games they needed to play during the playoffs. So their focus was set on the long game. The focus for both teams was to keep their eye on the prize. And going into the start of the 2022 season, both teams, as well as all the other teams in Major League Baseball, knew that the prize was playing in the postseason, was getting to the World Series, while all the other Major League Baseball teams would just be watching at the end of the season. Right? They wouldn't be playing. So, folks, they kept their eye on the prize. They were laser-sharp focused all the way throughout the season, and here they are today, playing in the postseason in the World Series. There's a website, Oberlo, has this great definition of laser-sharp focus. And it's, quote, having a laser-sharp focus means that you have the mental strength to cut through the distractions like a James Bond villain. Learn how to concentrate properly and you can slice through procrastination in seconds. Goodbye deadline stress and so long last-minute panic, end quote. That's pretty good. See, so having the mental strength to outlast everyone for 162 games or 5 straight months of baseball, it's not an easy feat. See, they have the focus because they have a plan, they have a strategy, they have the commitment to help them stay focused while playing the long game. There's another strategy that they have while they're playing the long game. It's real simple. They play it 1 game at a time. See, in baseball, wins come at you 1 game at a time. However, losses come at you all at once. And the losses come at you all at once because you're not playing today's game today. You're playing next week's game today. And by not paying attention and focusing on today's game, you lose today's game, you lose next week's game, and every game in between. So that's not a good thing. They remain focused from the beginning to the end, and then guess what? They're going to repeat it again, the whole process next season. So what about you? And yes, focus is this week's leadership concept. So yes, I ask again, what about you? Do you have the laser sharp focus? Do you have a plan, a strategy, the self-discipline to remain committed to that plan to achieve the goals you set for yourself? Do you? Are you focused enough and disciplined enough to realize that if you lack self-discipline, self-control, and the wherewithal to achieve those goals, you will get exactly what you deserve. And that is nothing. That's right. I said it. That's right. You get nothing. Good day. Now, being focused in your personal and professional life will get you places. Now, if you lack focus, then you lack commitment, you lack dedication, and you lack drive. Seriously. Who wants to be in any kind of relationship where the other party lacks commitment, where the other party lacks dedication and the drive to be successful? See, I cannot express my disdain and at times my disgust for those individuals that truly believe that they do not have to put in the work and yet expect to be successful. When they're not successful, they will quickly blame others. And before I go too deep, I'm going to save that for a different episode. But they'll do it. They'll blame others. See, I abhor such laziness in people. I know others do so as well. Now, what can one do about that? Simple. It's real simple. You separate yourself from those kinds of people. Those individuals are simply lacking. They're found lacking. You say you want to be focused and achieve the goals you set for yourself, then get rid of the negativity. Kick it out of your life. The focus you and I and everyone else needs to be successful is inside of us, inside each and every one of us. There's no need to turn to someone else to give you focus. You have it in you already. Now, if you want to use others as a source of inspiration on what to do, well, by all means. Or you can use them as a cautionary tale on what not to do. There are plenty of them out there. So over the course of your life, you will encounter individuals that will use various reasons or excuses as crutches as to why they are not doing anything to better their lives. And folks, I'm telling you, nonsensical bullshit. And that nonsensical bullshit is what they expect you to believe. And that nonsense is like, I'm too old, I'm too sick, I'm not educated enough, I don't have the time. Truth be told, all of those excuses are cheap substitutions for they are too lazy, they are too scared, they are too afraid of change, or that they feel they do not need to challenge themselves, so in turn they will hope and pray that you will follow in their path of laziness and lose focus. They're out there, folks. Too many of them. See, you are better than that, and I know you're better than that. How do I know? Well, here we go. If I can do it, you can do it too. Recently, an opportunity came around, and I took full advantage of it. I took full advantage of an opportunity. And a lot of them, they're not coming around as much as they used to. See, I work a full-time job, a full 40 hours. I have a blog, I have a podcast, I write books, I have this weekly video show, and on top of family, friends, I will be starting in January a program that at the end of the year will have me earning my second, folks, my second. I already have one. This is going to be my second master's degree. This is why I say that all the excuses are pure and simple bullshit. There's no need for that. That is why staying away from those filled with negativity, excuses, and lack of focus is critical to your success as a human being, your success in your personal and professional life. And to be successful, to being a leader, well, just know that you are actively living and leading by example. And remember, the key to being a successful leader is always leading by example. And folks, on that note, I want to thank you for watching this week's episode of the Weekly Leader, and I invite you to come back next week for another episode. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let everybody know what's going on here and all the fun we're having. And lastly, I'm David Guerra, and I approve this message